I promise you that we're not here to spin Walt Disney news as if it is always bad when it is not. Rather, it is the opposite. Every single day, there is bad news out about this company that has dropped something like 55 to 60% of its overall value in 2 years. Every day, it seems that the company is more and more divorced from reality. And today, we're here to tell you that Wish, the latest movie, the animated feature from the Walt Disney Company celebrating 100 years of animation, is failing, and failing dramatically at the box office. This is very bad news for Bob Iger and the rest of the C-suite going into the Thanksgiving holiday. We're going to break down why. We're also going to tell you how we know that Disney is terrified of their place in the culture war and what it means for their businesses.
Bob Iger is all like, no, what's going on with my stars? No, nothing.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the place where we put Holly weird through the words of truth. Examining entertainment, keeping you ahead of the culture curve. It's what we do each and every day here. If you like content like that, consider clicking the like button. All right, folks, Disney is not clicking a like button. Not on this headline. No, not now, not ever. This by Anthony D'Alessandro, out today, hot off the presses. Napoleon conquers Tuesday Thanksgiving previews with $3 million. Wish at $2.3 million. Let's remember, folks, this is the beginning of the Thanksgiving holiday week. Children are out of school. And Wish had all of Tuesday, starting at 3 p.m. in whatever time zone it exists. Wish had 3 p.m. It had 5 p.m. It had 7 p.m. It had 9 p.m. Whatever the schedules were, this is a very short film. Probably 4 showings per screen, children not in school. It's come in under Napoleon. Let's take a look. Apple Original Productions, Ridley Scott Napoleon won $3 million in Tuesday night previews, while Disney's Wish took in $2.3 million. Both fired off at 3 p.m. That's an impressive number for Napoleon, given the war epic movie that it is. It's right under what 1917 previews did for its wide expansion back in January of 2020, which was $3.25 million. Folks, remember what was going on in January of 2020? Oh, that's right. We were just learning that it was a bad idea to go to movie theaters. So Napoleon did slightly ahead of what happened back in January of 2020 at box offices. And Wish underperformed that. Now, let's see what this says. Wish's preview figure includes 500,000 from Saturday limited sneaks. Oh, so the Wish number is actually worse. Wish actually, for the very first preview day, the real preview day, made less than $2 million. Thanksgiving Disney animated comps here are Coco at $2.3 million on a Tuesday, but Coco didn't have 500,000 in Saturday limited sneaks, whatever that is. And Encanto at 1.5 million. Now, Encanto, ladies and gentlemen, remember, according to the mainstream press, we're supposed to believe that Encanto was being affected by the pandemic. And Encanto actually was a box office flop. It became a Disney Plus success, but it lost money at the box office. Overall, it probably made Disney a lot of money. But at the box office, it was a flop. Wish opens today in 3,900 domestic locations. That really opened yesterday. Tracking for Wish spotted a 45 to 50 million 5-day. But wait a minute, folks. 5 days. If you include the Tuesday, that's 6 days, which they're not. And if you include the Saturday sneaks, whatever that is, which is 500,000, that's the 1 week. That's an entire week of Wish is going to come in at 45 to 50 million dollars. It's going to underperform the Marvels potentially. And the Marvels, we only counted its actual weekend. And this is a full week. And the full week is going to underperform the Marvels. And the Marvels was a disaster. Oh my gosh. This should be the sky is falling. This is terrible. How bad is it? Let's take a look now at the numbers. Elemental is the most recent movie that Disney put out in animated form. And Elemental pulled in $2.4 million on its preview. Well, you remember that Elemental actually was a film that people decried and said, it's a disaster. This is horrible. This is the worst thing we've ever seen out of Pixar in terms of the box office. People were freaking out. Now, it legged out. Take a look at this. It legged out very well as well. Good for it, right? And so Elemental legged out. Elemental made $486 million. The thing that the mainstream media probably won't tell you is it needed $600 million to break even. And so it didn't. And when it comes to merchandise or those other ecosystems that Disney talks about, in terms of figuring out, well, it actually made money because it drove toy lines and it drove video games and theme park editions. And Elemental didn't do any of those. There aren't any kids playing with Elemental toys this holiday season, not enough to move the needle. $486 million is what it made. And that's short. And that's despite a tremendous amount of legs for this film. So what about Wish then? What's going on with Wish? Will it be able to leg out what we're seeing with Elemental? Well, I'm here to tell you that it doesn't look good. In fact, it doesn't look good at all. How bad is it? Well, Elemental was largely liked by critics. It was decent enough. Wish, on the other hand, take a look at that splat on Rotten Tomatoes from the top critics. And of course, top critics are those who are free from the fear of being fired if they put out a bad review. And of the audience, of course, if we go to all audience, not verified audience, because it's the opposite on Rotten Tomatoes. Verified audience is made up of those they want you to read, i.e., those who would be favorable towards movies and major investments. All audience, 68%. A terrible number considering that the people who went and saw it on day one are most likely to be the people who would like it the most, who are most open to saying, yeah, that was great, because they were ready and willing to go day one. So the idea that Wish is going to leg out anything like Elemental, very, very low. And again, folks, if we go back to Deadline, what do we have? Well, we've got Wish coming under Napoleon. We've got Wish perhaps underperforming the Marvels, even when we compare their entire opening week to the Marvels just the weekend. This is bad. This is really, really bad. Disney knows it's bad. Take a look at this article out of thatparkplace.com. By the way, if you're not bookmarked to thatparkplace.com, you should be. John Trent, the founding member of Bounding into Comics, former chief editor, now the chief editor of thatparkplace.com, writing here. The Walt Disney Company admits that consumers' positions on Disney's environmental and social goals often differ widely and present risks to our reputation and brands. They know, folks. They know what's going on. In the Walt Disney Company's Form 10-K filed with the Securities and Exchange Commission, the company outlines a number of risk factors it is facing. One of the bullet points in this section states, we face risks relating to misalignment with public and consumer tastes and preferences for entertainment, travel, and consumer products, which impact demand for our entertainment offerings and products and the profitability of any of our businesses. Underneath the bullet point, the company states our businesses create entertainment, travel, and consumer products whose success depends substantially on consumer tastes and preferences that change in often unpredictable ways. The success of our businesses depends on our ability to consistently create compelling content, which may be distributed, among other ways, through broadcast, cable, theaters, internet, or mobile technology, and used in theme park attractions, hotels, and other resort facilities, and travel experiences and consumer products. Goes on to talk about how Disney knows. Look at this. They then admitted, generally, our revenues and profitability are adversely impacted when our entertainment offerings and products, as well as our methods to make our offerings and products available to consumers, do not achieve sufficient consumer acceptance. The company then conceded. Further, consumers' perceptions of our position on matters of public interest, including our efforts to achieve certain of our environmental and social goals, often differ widely and present risks to our reputation and brands. But that, folks, is buried deep. and a document that only the most ardent of investors will ever look at. Oh, wait, no, now it's on a YouTube channel with tens of thousands, at least, viewers, and a website which is generating such views as well and disseminating the truth all over the world. Disney doesn't want you to know that they're in a real pickle of a situation when it comes to the culture war, and Wish is dead center in that. It's also not very good. I gave it a 4.5 out of 10 here on the site. It's not terrible. It's better than the Marvels. It's way better than Haunted Mansion. But it's not good either. And it's an embarrassment for a company that is capable of making movies like Moana and Tangled and so many more. We could go through the list. How many movies has Disney made that I would say are 9s or 10s out of 10s? Amazing movies. I think WALL-E is perhaps one of the greatest films ever made. I think Moana is tremendous. And we could name perhaps dozens and dozens of films that Disney has produced. But being in the middle of this culture war has damaged them such that Wish is, well, looking for some way for a star to come down and save it. But that does not seem to be in the works. Now, could I be wrong? Could the preview actually turn out to be an inaccurate representation of what audiences are going to do this week? Sure. And if so, we'll come back and report on it fairly and honestly. But unlike some out there, we believe in telling you that this is now on track to underperform the Marvels, and we're going to react like we would to any other movie that underperforms the Marvels, which the Marvels was the biggest flop in the history of cinema, and is. And Indiana Jones: The Dial of Destiny just came out this year, and it was the biggest flop in the history of cinema until the Marvels dethroned it. What will happen with Wish? It's got a $200 million budget. That's not including marketing. It needs at least, again, just like Elemental, $600 million to break even, although it may be more. If it stays on track right now, it's going to come way under it. So audiences, question is, are you going to save Wish? I don't know yet, but we'll follow it. Folks, if you like content like this, consider clicking the like button, share, subscribe. When you click it, you stick it to the algorithms. It's the notification bell. Drop a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. We covet your comments. We care about what you think. And again, we remind you, be checking thatparkplace.com for all the latest news. We are going places that no other website is possibly going. We have a former officer within the one of the major guilds. Let's just put it that way. A former officer inside one of the major guilds of Hollywood who is writing on this very topic. Go check it out, folks. It's our headline for today. Make sure you find out what they have to say about this Disney report. Are we off? Well, they'll tell you what they think about it. And folks, we'll continue to tell you what we think about it as well. We hope you're having a wonderful holiday season already. We hope you have a tremendous Thanksgiving if you celebrate it. Folks, remember that if you have the opportunity, spend it with family and friends. And if you don't, if you're feeling a little lonely this holiday season, we know that it can be tough on those who have lost loved ones or who are away from those they care most about. We are rooting for you. Hang in there. Be strong. Good times are on the horizon. All right, folks, that is it for us today. We wish you the very best. We wish the best. We just don't think that that's going to manifest for it, but we hope it does for you. Wherever you are and whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.
Say it ain't so. This just in. Disney lost money on another movie. Why, that can't be. I thought that John Lasseter fella over at Pixar was cranking out the latest hits, and Marvel was unstoppable, and Disney princesses were a thing, and Star Wars was a multi-billion-dollar money-making franchise.
I overheard you talking about Disney, and wanted to let you know you're really behind the ball. If you were getting great articles from thatparkplace.com and subscribe to WDW Pro's YouTube channel, you'd actually be ahead of the culture curve and have entertainment explained.